Hello and welcome to Honest Trailer Commentaries, the show where we walk. That was the fake intro. Good thing I got that one out of my system. Welcome to Honest This is all staying in. Welcome to Honest Trailer Commentaries, the show where we talk about that other show that you hopefully just watched before this show. You stick around, there's deleted scenes at the end, we address your complaints. Hello. I'm Spencer Gilbert.
Nailed it.
That's Joe Starr.
Yeah.
Danielle. Dan.
Hello.
Today we're talking about parentheses, 500 Days of Summer, the movie title with the parentheses, so it's always number one in your list of alphabetically ordered movies. I see you, movie. I see what you did there, and it worked.
Sneaky.
We watched this film. Mm-hmm. We had some thoughts and some feelings, mostly of the negative variety. I see it's touched a nerve with some people, both saying that we missed the point, and there's a discussion to be had there, and also that, you know, we're all just morons. So, discuss.
Well, that's every week.
I mean, we are. But
Okay, all right. So I get the idea that, like, no, the movie is about how he was dumb and he didn't know, you know, and he didn't recognize things and blah blah blah. The problem is when you set the movie up to curse out the actual writer's actual ex-girlfriend using her actual name and calling her an actual bitch, and that's the way we start the movie, that's going to color how I see the movie for the rest of it.
Fair play. Yeah, I do think I put this movie. This is the Fight Club of rom-coms.
Yes.
Like, Tom is Tyler Durden in a cardigan. It is a film that I think
Tyler
that
Cardigan?
Tyler Cardigan. The charmingness of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, much like the suaveness of Brad Pitt, just fools you almost. It makes you think like you're just automatically on his doe-eyed side just from looking at him and just from being in 2009, and you look down and you're wearing a cardigan too, so you're like, well, he's the hero.
I also like the Smiths.
I like the Smiths.
Oh my God, I like the Smiths.
That #1 platinum selling band for decades. Yeah, that obscure English group, the Smiths. Yes.
I knew we were friends for a reason.
Wow, you're so different. I lost my train of thought, but yeah, I think this is one of the ultimate people not miss the point, but the point is obscured. One because of the actor and the point of view of the movie, but the other because like there is an omniscient narrator walking you through this film.
Yep.
That's not Tom. That's like, you can't say that that's Tom's inner voice or anything. Like, it is the voice of God is also on Tom's side throughout this whole thing.
That's the thing for me was I saw this when it came out, and then again when we did this, and I also listened to people. There's plenty. You're right. There's plenty of people that have watched this in the comments saying like we missed the point of the movie, and I would agree. I would agree with that if the movie itself were not like #1, not at all interested in Summer beyond her function with Tom. Like it's not about. It's like no, it's about how Summer helped Tom grow. It's like well, okay, but
how?
But Summer is ancillary to the story other than her function to Tom. That's it. If they were interested in her as a character and like what about her other than she wanted to be friends, which she says constantly,
I'll take issue with the idea that Tom grows at the end.
Well, that's the other thing is I don't think he grows at the end because if Tom had like realized that like oh you're right like this I need to separate myself from this idea that like that this one person could be my destiny and like instead really focus on like being present and finding someone who like you know who I'm more receptive to, and instead of just fixating on this one person who I've decided is my destiny, that would be the growth in his character. And how does the movie end? Hi, I'm Autumn. Oh, never mind, it's always destiny. She was just but no, this is the girl that I'm fated to be with. It's like no, you
and the timer clicks back to 1 like it's Groundhog Day but with women.
It literally starts over. So that's my big thing is like it undercuts that entire message for me of like Tom grew as a person, which is like no, he didn't, because he ends this movie in the exact same place with a different quirky job that he's competing against
Aspiring
his potentially former new girl against. But it's the same exact thing. Oh, this is the new one that I'm destined to be with. Like then you've learned.
He looks to camera and gives like a wink, like get it, like.
Well, there's one because yes, most of the and I apologize. I'm getting to the feedback. We're all getting to the feedback part before we do the feedback part of the show.
Yes,
but everyone's like, no, the point of the movie is that he's a bad person. You guys clearly missed the point. But that's so stupid to me because there's one scene, there's like one specific scene where you're like, oh, this is where we get there, and that's where his his little sister is like, look back at the relationship. It might not be what you remembered. And that's the moment where you're like, oh, this is where Tom learns.
Yep.
This is where Tom recognizes that he's been nuts.
He has no idea who this woman is.
Yeah.
That he has no idea who this woman is, and he grows up. But he doesn't. Like the montage is, oh, she was a lot worse. She was even worse.
She didn't laugh at your jokes that one
she
time.
was mean.
She didn't take your hand. She's crying in the rain.
And so, like, the idea that a movie, like, you're just throwing out an idea but then not exploring the idea makes this a bad movie. It's like a stand-up, like, giving a joke premise but then not delivering a joke. It's like just being like, you guys had this airline food, and then not giving a punchline, or like comics who are like, ugh, the president, right? And then they just wait for you to applaud and laugh. And it's like, no, give me jokes. Give me what you thought of it. Like, give me the arc of your idea.
Yeah, I do think that there was there was an intent, there was an artistic intent and a point of view to this movie, which is like, we are just telling this very consciously from Tom's perspective. But they just didn't follow through to me on the consequences of that.
Yeah.
Like you said, you need one moment of wait, he's got this all wrong, and I don't think he ever really
Otherwise,
gets that.
if he's the protagonist and the voice of God is on his side, and the end gets to end with this like wink, then the movie is saying like, this dude's great. Like, this is the hero.
Yeah.
The other thing before we go, sorry, that I do want to hit back on is people that, a lot of people that I've seen in the comments saying like, well, it's Summer's fault because she told him that she wanted to be friends, but then she made out with him.
She didn't say friends. She said he didn't want a boyfriend.
Yeah, first of all, she said she didn't want a boyfriend, number one. And she was very, and that's also ascribing to this idea that for every single person in the world, relationships are binary.
Yes.
That you are either, only friends or only going out exclusively with one person. And it's like, that's not true for everybody. There are people who, as Summer was trying to express, for whatever reason, they're in a certain place in their life, or they just are not ready to have a long-term commitment. I will say like, hey, we may be going out, maybe we even have sex, but I'm telling you, and she was the only adult in this whole thing, and she's she's like, I'm just telling you, I don't want to be serious. I'm telling you right up front, I don't want to be in a serious relationship with you. Like, we can be together, but I'm not your girlfriend. Like,
I say we're a couple.
I say we're a couple. It's like, okay,
scary.
You're not listening.
It's not. Yeah. The character Tom is not listening, but also people that say that to me, the audience is also not listening, because it's like, if you look at Summer and say like, well, why would she say one thing when she meant another? Like, no, she meant what she said. You cannot look at things in that binary way.
When you kiss someone, you're not married to them.
Yeah.
And part of me gets it, because like when I was like 15 to 19 with like a strong Christian upbringing and an understanding that when I turned 21 I was going to get married and be in love forever. Like, if I kissed a girl and then we weren't just in love, I was like, I don't understand. But that was when I was like 15, 16 years old. He's 30.
This movie would have been great
man.
if it took place like in college.
Yes.
Yeah.
High school.
Or a summer camp. Like, this is a summer camp. Yeah, this is a summer camp romance. It's absolutely a summer camp.
All right, let's watch this thing.
Also, Joe, you did fall in love and will be in love forever.
This summer, we're getting
There's no volume here.
Oh yeah, I can't hear it.
blockbusters past and present.
We wrote it, so we
This
can.
is
we
March
can just kind of
basically what it's
Blockbuster
saying.
Summer.
I guess the question is, can the people at home hear it?
Oh, that is a question.
From the
a fair
creative
question.
team who killed
From the
Augustus
people who
Waters
killed Augustus
and
Waters
Spider-Man
and Spider-Man.
Right, yep.
See if they can hear it. Then
comes
we're
the
just talking
quirkiest
about it.
revenge porn ever made.
The beginning of the script was all angry Jenny Beckman.
Yeah, that guy's a butt.
500 Days of Summer. Strap in for a rom-com that's light on both rom and com, because it's more of a coming-of-age dram. Except the guy who's coming of age is like 30,
he's
that
30.
has you time traveling through a relationship.
Well, pause.
between
Pause,
Christopher
yeah.
Nolan.
I read the screenplay. They are only labeled as 20s, but actor's age, I believe, 28.
Yeah, he was like 28. I think she was like 30.
Yeah, and there was a marker in the script. I forget what it was. I don't know why I'm wearing these. Like, you can't hear the trailer. There was a marker in the script, and I don't know what it was.
I'm keeping kayfabe.
That that I think marked him like around 28 or 29 years old. But it's like he's a young professional.
I mean, if he went to architecture school, which I assume is a graduate degree, or do you do that undergrad?
You could study it undergrad.
It depends on what kind of architect. If it's real architecture or if it's the I draw other people's buildings.
That's a whole other segue.
I think he just art than
skylines, more skylines.
I think he just applied to that art college. Remember when you
draw this turtle?
My understanding is architects do it one building at a time. He seemed to mostly.
I do my building. I do it one building at a time, baby.
Yeah. Those cans are hot now.
Yeah, now it's a little too loud. So. A little hot.
Like a speaker.
But his architecture mostly was the rough sketch, and then never the will this hold up to any kind of construction.
Also, you can't just move buildings. Like, like this is how I would do it. Well, that's great, but those buildings are there, and you can't.
The city has been built.
Yeah, you can't put them up on stilts and then like move them around.
He went to the School of Movie Architecture, the George Costanza School of Architecture. But all right, let's keep watching. All right.
Stuff, but
500 Days of Summer. Strap in
we're
for
back.
a rom-com that's light on both rom and com, because it's more of a coming-of-age dram, except the guy who's coming of age is like 30, that has you time-traveling through a relationship like a twee Christopher Nolan. Because if you took out the gimmick and watched these scenes in order, you'd see it's about a codependent stalker and the empty vessel he latches onto.
I just don't want to release.
Well, you're not the only one that gets a say in this. I do too. And I say we're a couple. God damn it.
Not how it works.
Nope.
It's not like rock, paper, scissors.
A screenwriter stand-in.
Relationship beats no relationship.
Wrote this one.
Mazel tov on your bar mitzvah.
Pause. We had a discussion about this because this was also a quirky go-to because Joaquin Phoenix in Her was also a greeting card writer.
And there's a Christmas movie called Season's Greetings about someone who writes Christmas cards but doesn't believe in the spirit of Christmas.
Is it just because it's like the irony of somebody who's like unlucky in love but in charge of writing these things that express emotion?
Yeah. I think it's like it's supposed to be the biggest contrast to like architecture possible of like, I'm a man who builds entire cities with my mind and I'm stuck unappreciated writing this drivel for losers.
Wouldn't it be like a tournament gamer? Sorry, that's what I would say is the opposite.
It's more like shade. Well, you got the whole Ninja's Fortnite clan coming after you now.
I'm a sad boy writing happy things.
I think it's sad boy writing happy things, but I think it's
That's the name of the movie now. Sad boy writing happy things.
Even at the most generous interpretation of his age, 24 or whatever, I think we all come to realize greeting cards are stupid at like 17. Like nobody is like, oh man, this is so dumb. Like you know the deal when you start writing greeting cards that it's cheesy, but he's supposed to have like fallen out of love with the medium.
Well,
this isn't giving me what I thought it would.
And as someone who did live in Los Angeles in 2009, for him to treat a job that allowed him to have an apartment that nice in Los Angeles that casually, he's a real a-hole.
That is a very well-staffed and well-furnished greeting card. They have
You respect the halls of American Greetings, son, because they are giving you a very nice place to live.
They just have a good union. They're like, they have like, oh, you're the St. Patrick's Day division, and you're like on religious holidays.
Because he should have been fired at least 3 times during that
easily.
movie. Like when he's making out with his girl, like the whole time he's making out with her in the copy room, like you are at work.
Yeah.
You are both at work.
Well, that's my favorite thing is thinking about because he's at the end of the movie he's walking into a job interview and like I wish we still did after the credits because we could do the scene. He's like, so tell me about your last job. He's like, well, I quit without notice after a sharp decline in my workplace production following a failed workplace romance with my boss's secretary. I'm like, okay, well, is Autumn still out there? Just send her in on your way.
Oh, the girl who I just tried to hook up or whose number I just tried to get?
You haven't seen my sketches of all of Los Angeles.
Oh, what's your experience? Well, I studied it, and then I've been reading this book for 3 weeks. So
Can I see your
like I'm very qualified.
Can I see your portfolio? Hand me your arm.
He's not getting that job.
No, she is.
He and Autumn are going to have a rocky relationship from the beginning.
Tough start. Anyways, keep going.
Where'd Autumn go to school? Like, she's probably got a degree in it.
Tom doesn't care.
But he's always dreamed of it.
Her name comes after summer.
A boring dream.
I studied to be an architect.
2 awful friends.
You don't believe that a woman could enjoy being free and independent?
Are you a lesbian? Did you date her? No.
Yeah, you didn't need both of them.
No, Angela?
They could have just been one terrible person.
Again, waiting for the scene where these two get their comeuppance. They never happened.
No, the comeuppance is like, actually, they're pretty good guys. He's like, I've got my wife or girlfriend that I've been dating since high school.
They're
you know
shields.
What? She doesn't have huge knockers, but I love her just the same. Like, that's honestly his redemption.
That reminds me of...
They're terrible people.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Hangover. Bradley Cooper is awful. The whole, like, right out the gate, he's like taking kids' field trip money, and he's like, Vegas, baby. Oh, but then at the end, he loves his baby boy. He loves it. He gives him a big hug at the wedding. He's a very good boy. Like, come on. Like, they're bad. They're shit.
We gotta raise the bar at some
They're
point,
really
y'all.
not good
We've gotta raise the bar.
Because especially like a rom-com is supposed to have, like, the buddy who at least has some decent advice. I think.
And they replaced that with his preteen sister?
Yeah, or the
that was
buddy
his
that's
preteen
like,
sister.
hey man, I've been listening to you for 15 years and you've never stood me. No.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
exist.
2009 was a weird time. I think this is the only year this movie could have existed because we're just coming off the like Maxim magazine man show ideal, but like all the surface trappings had changed, but like the ethos hadn't caught up yet.
This
so
is
it's just Maxim magazine in cardigans.
This is right. This is the Venn diagram of Maxim and the metrosexual craze, where everyone was like, "Let's give men a special term if they iron a shirt," like,
with a splash of like pre-Judd Apatow, like, but they're irreverent.
Yeah. Yeah. It's these very weird planets aligning.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Truly once in a generation. Yeah. Keep going.
7 sweater vests, and 500 days to treat this girl like a series of video game achievements to unlock for sex.
He wondered if anyone else had made it this far.
Pause. Yes. So I get here's the issue with the movie. Like that's a big sticking point for me is that scene of like she is opening up to him in that moment. She is telling him like her deepest. Some sort of deeply personal.
I had a dream
thing.
once.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Is because like on one reading, like the sympathetic reading to the movie is then the voice cuts in, and it's saying like he's basically only thinking about himself in that moment. But the movie couldn't even bother to write like a fake personal anecdote for him to be ignoring. All it says, she's just talking about a dream she had. She's talking about a dream she had was like a fear of flying or something.
And there's all that like good stuff that they talk about at the beginning about how her parents' divorce like did something to her and how like even though she loved her hair, she could cut it off at any second. All of this stuff that they kind of put in where I was like, oh, when are we going to get to that? And we just never got to that. That would have been a great moment to be like, hey, here's how my parents' divorce affected me.
Yeah. Well, that was manic. And
that's right.
We learned Pixie, and then we had to get to the girl part.
Yeah.
You got all the pieces.
Yeah.
Divorce.
I think that would have been a strong moment if she really was confessing something to him deep that he was not listening to, but nobody pays attention when you're talking about the dream you had. No one. Yeah. You've never had a dream that was so personal it was worth.
No.
It was revealing about
I knew
you.
my
You're
boyfriend,
always just mowing the lawn with your vice principal.
I knew my boyfriend loved me when he asked me about my dream once.
Wow.
Because I was like, oh, I had a weird dream, and I left it there, and he was like, what was it about? And I was like, oh.
You're in.
Wow.
I mean, it definitely says something about. I feel comfortable taking weird personal shots and making assumptions about the screenwriter's relationship because he was so loud about this movie being about this relationship that he really wanted to burn this girl to the ground over. And I think it says something that like they're like, well, this would be a nice part where the stand-in for your ex-girlfriend like opened up and really shared something, and he's like, oh man,
what did she?
I think she had a dream or something once. She eats food.
She liked the Smiths.
Yeah, I don't even remember if she likes the Smiths or not. I know I like the Smiths. It'd be pretty sick if I met a girl that liked the Smiths.
If I liked it, I'm pretty sure she liked it too. The other thing being with that scene where they're renting the porno that they can watch together so that she can want to try to something.
So tight.
And it's like the greeting card thing.
Dear FHM, you won't believe what my Liddy two. Never mind.
The store that they're in is also much like the greeting card company / architect is like the two hipsteriest dreams ever. The combination video rental store / vinyl record wholesaler is also like the hipsteriest business.
Again, only 2009.
Yeah, you could possibly dream up for a movie.
They're that business is going out the door the moment a tech company opens up in town.
Yeah.
I want a place to rent DVDs and buy vinyl.
Or rent vinyl and buy DVDs.
Yes.
All right, let's keep going.
Meet Summer. Yes. She's a woman.
Summer Finn was a woman.
But back to Tom.
Yep.
Watch his heartbreak when Summer suddenly reveals she doesn't want a boyfriend. And by suddenly, I mean the first time they hang out.
So you have a boyfriend?
No,
Why not?
because I don't want one.
And every time afterwards,
I'm not.
There are about 4 more scenes like this we cut for time.
Aren't they like in an IKEA right there?
Yes, they are.
But that won't
Pause.
stop Tom.
And that's why people are just like, well, she shouldn't have let him on then. It's like,
What leading?
she's literally, they've already made out. I think they've already had sex. And she's telling him again, yes, we are taking these steps, but I am reiterating to you, given the current status of our relationship even, I am not looking for something serious. We're having fun, obviously, and bing!
And also, I mean,
He's not paying attention.
It's the same advice that I would give to any like friend of mine who's dating like an F boy who would do something like that. Just leave. Like he's telling you exactly what he wants. Tom can leave. Tom is a grown man. At any point he can say, you know what, I really like you, but I would like something more serious. But then, that's a different movie.
Yep.
But that would require him to take initiative, which he won't even do. He won't even ask her out. Like that's the one thing he grows. The one thing he learns how to do in this movie is he goes from not asking a woman out and resenting the fact that she doesn't pay attention to his Smith song as she tries to leave work.
Also, hey, don't play your music loud at work. It is an open office plan. That is obnoxious.
With his faux deep cut Ferris Bueller hipster bullshit. Sorry, just like, isn't this a cool deep cut Smith song? It's like, no, it's the most famous montage in Ferris Bueller. Unless you think that's also a hipster movie nobody's seen. But also just like, what a bitch. She won't even talk to me.
She's probably a skank with 17 other dudes up in her the week. Like that.
She's been answering calls about greeting cards all day. Do you think she wants to talk to you? No! Go talk to her, you freaking mutant. God, sorry. I really don't like this
We hate
guy.
Tom, sorry.
We don't like Tom.
We should go back and scan through all of Zooey Deschanel's characters' jobs because receptionist at a greeting card company is pretty quirky. Elf at an elf store. At an elf store, and then she was like in Yes Man, she's like a jogging photography instructor, where like she leads people on workouts where they also take Polaroid photographs of things as they're walking by them.
Isn't she a substitute music teacher for a while in New Girl?
Yes, she's a substitute music, and then she becomes a kindergarten teacher.
A kindergarten teacher, that's what it is.
Pretty adorable.
And then I think she's a principal for a while.
And tiramisu
Gamut.
enthusiast. And the happening.
Oh, God.
yeah. Professional tiramisu enthusiast.
You like hot dogs? Okay, let's keep going.
from declaring her the love of his life.
No, don't pull that with me.
Because they share the same values.
There's no such thing as love, it's fantasy.
It's love, it's not Santa Claus.
Because they mutually respect one another.
Roses are red, violets are blue. F you.
Because he thinks she's hot and she
The
likes
next
doing
words
porn
weren't "you're
stuff.
fired."
You're at work.
You used to call me anal girl.
So gather round for a 10-year-old film that, much like a 10-year-old relationship, you
There he
loved
was.
it when it was new. But now it's uncomfortable to revisit. You cringe at how surface level it was. And you're desperate to scrub your affection for Tom
Poor
from
JGL.
But as time goes on,
It's the curse of being that charming.
remains clear. The ending is titanically stupid.
I'm Autumn.
And I'm done with this
They're in the Blade Runner building.
Starring, I know who you did last.
An architect made that.
Summer, the previous girl. The snozberries taste like snozberries. Ugh, Hit Girl, please just beat this loser's ass.
Don't be
Chill Coulson.
Yeah, ain't I a minka?
Great Bugs
Seasons
Bunny,
of the
John.
movie.
Yeah.
And
The puma.
Yeah, the puma. Cause, you know.
no, I don't know. You call dongs pumas? Do pumas have big dongs? How would you know?
Pause. We all kind of bumped on that, but I'm gonna jump ahead to a viewer comment from Martin58.
Oh, no.
Pumas have long, thick tails, so yeah. You guys ever seen a puma?
Hang on.
Wait, tail? What?
Yeah, a puma tail.
But
a big.
Okay, yeah, like that great colloquialism, the puma tail that we all know and have heard about.
I'm definitely looking up pumas.
Yep. Let's see.
Our Wi-Fi is really bad. This is on you. This
Why
exciting
would
content
puma
is your
having
fault.
still though?
Billy, you can keep playing. This might take a while to load.
Weird.
I've just got shoes.
Yeah, me too.
Love. Well, actually.
Yeah, okay.
I'm Autumn.
Oh no. Tom, you know what that means. Winter is coming.
Pause. Sorry, I'm just gonna pass this around.
It's a tail. It's a cat tail.
It's a girthy tail.
Yeah, that's a thick tail. But
oh wow, yeah, that's a lot of tail.
Yeah, but that's not like a known thing.
No.
Like,
oh, you
was
know,
there a weird
puma
period in
tails.
2009 where like Maxim magazine was like, which cat tail is your dog? Is that a quiz?
I'm an ocelot.
Even giving that, maybe that's a local thing, like like a soda and pop.
Yeah.
But this idea of the puma being this.
Mine's thin and then it's got a big poof of fur at the end. That's why I call it the lion.
Yeah. I feel like that there was a friend of the screenwriter who was known as the Puma for as an inside joke, and he wrote it into the script as if it were a common reference that we should all know.
Is it like a pouncing motion? Is it a?
I don't know. It's very.
The world will never know. Let's play delete scenes. What cat is your genitalia most like?
AskMen.com.
Yeah.
Because in 2009, the perfect woman was a dude you could have sex with.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this was a trope.
Dude. She's a dude.
But not
Pause.
in a gay way.
It was like something about Mary,
Yeah.
where it's like, what? She likes sports and porn?
She's a D.
Pretty much all of oh god, that 70s show.
Kelso?
Yeah.
No,
not
no,
Kelso.
Donna.
Donna. Mila Kunis. All of Mila Kunis' characters. It was a type.
That was also though on that '70s show. Donna was also one of those.
Or Donna, yeah.
Laura Prepon.
On the show. Laura Prepon's character was just like she was like cool because she was like one of the guys.
You go outside. What? you must be a dude. That's one we've had a hard time getting over as a gender. Like I feel like that's like even when we were doing the Fandom Uncovered for D&D, like so many people we talked to, like any woman who was like, yes, I play D&D, everyone would be like, you mean like a dude?
I mean, listen, I love Mara has many common interests with me, which I love about her. But that's not like I don't set her value as a person or someone that I was going to become romantically involved with based on how many of the things that I like.
Yeah.
She also liked, which is another thing about this movie. It was largely based on, she likes everything that I like. It's like, well, maybe show some interest in what she likes to do, because like, do they ever do anything that has any interest in what she wants to do? It's always like, I'm going to take you to look at these buildings. Oh, listen to this band that I already like, And it's just,
I love The
like
Graduate.
this.
Let's go watch The Graduate.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that's another thing. It's like maybe she's into some stuff that you enjoy. We do a lot of stuff
Again,
that Mara likes.
if
that
you're
I've
in
found
your
her.
late teens, early 20s, a relationship that's mostly based on shared pop culture references,
Yes, that's true.
sure,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
Just don't idealize this. It's the Fight Club was idealized. This movie is idealized. This is not ideal.
Anyways,
It's the scenario.
Woman
Anything
was
else?
a dude you could have sex with.
Holy shit. You're a dude.
The other
She's a
trope.
dude.
But not in a gay way.
You sound gay.
You really do.
You know I know you're
Because he
gay.
has feelings.
John Cusack. Remember when he played Cobra Commander? Crazy Stupid Levitt. You've got mail. You should use your full name. Douchebag.
Oh, pause. Comment that I forgot to pull, but someone mentioned that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the king of movies that end with dumb name reveals.
Wow.
Autumn, and then
Robin.
you should use your full name, Robin. Yeah. Anyways,
Interesting.
yeah, fun fact.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It's ironic because he has
Delete
3
Joe.
names already.
Is that Rain?
That's
Pretty
for us.
woman. And that's it. She bangs. She bangs. You guys remember Super Troopers? That was funny. Let's watch Super Troopers. BFF yourself. Christina Hendricks' husband? Nice.
He is.
4chan. 2 chodes. In Celebrate Good Times. 13 going on creepy.
Yep.
Rachel. Sister told you. Agent
for Danielle.
Clarkson. Bob Vance. Vance Administration.
His name was Vance.
The actual new girl.
I don't get that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Next.
Oh, okay.
When a man explains a woman.
God, I love that.
500 Days of Tom.
It's a tough choice.
Roses are red. Violence is lawful. Summer should leave Tom because he is awful. Asswipe right. Seasonal
We had a lot of
rejected
these.
disorder.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Finding emo. She's just not that into. How to lose a guy in 500
I like that the
days.
guitar keeps happening every few.
You know,
Just
it's too
carries
bad it
through.
didn't work out. Between her giant bug eyes and his constant squinting, they had a shot at normal-eyed children.
They sure did.
Dude, act like you've been there before.
I had sex. It's like the Lonely Island. I just had sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
John Bailey, by the way, we should just give it a shout out.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
crushed the. We don't let him use the romantic comedy voice very
No.
often, and he did great.
He did. This one and The Notebook are two of my faves for that
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
He
I've
really-
been laughing about this one all week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you killed this. Remember Super Troopers?
So a lot of this we kind of addressed in our talking, the Puma stuff. DJC58 has some interesting points.
Why aren't you at your post? DJC58.
The movie, you need to rewatch it at different points in your life. When I was around 19 or 20, my sympathy went to Tom, and I disliked Summer. But when you watch it again 6 years later, I understand how Summer feels and why she did all that stuff. It shows two sides of a relationship, and if you understand both of these characters, you probably know how to really define love.
I think that's fair.
That's a valid
I think especially like revisiting a movie depending on your age, because I definitely now that I'm old enough will watch High Fidelity, and now I recognize the part where Rob Gordon's like, this is insane, what am I doing, and like finally really makes the decision to like grow up and stop making mixtapes for randos. But when I was like 19, I was like, what I took out of that movie was Charlie sucks, and I love Rob making top fives and being mad. Like that's all I took out of it. So yeah, I get that.
Definitely. So yeah, good movie to watch with some distance and some experience under your belt. Brian Turek writes, question for us, commentary. You point out Summer is merely a woman. Now, the movie does that. How much of her one-dimensionality do you attribute to Tom's projection of her? And I think that's entirely accurate. It is Tom's point of view, and he's not really getting anything more than the surface stuff.
But neither does God.
But you need that moment where you find out that there's more to her.
Yeah.
The movie is totally missing that.
And
it can't be, I have a fiance now. In the last scene.
And even in that conversation, he's just like, well, you just do whatever you want, don't you? It's like,
Yes.
I sure
She's an
wait.
adult with
That's
agency.
the lesson that she was.
I don't do whatever my creepy ex-boyfriend wants.
That's the lesson that he was should have taken away from that, is like, yes,
she's allowed to.
She exists as a human being outside of
Yeah.
what you've deemed to be your fate together, which is the whole point of the movie that I think is undercut by the last scene. But I would agree if they had fleshed her out more at the end, that inside the relationship, Summer seems one-dimensional because it's an idealized version of her. But they don't do what Joe said, which is go back and add depth to it later beyond, she snubbed me. And also, even when she becomes fully fleshed out, she's just like, I met a guy, but you don't know who he is. You never.
I met a guy. How does that make you feel?
Right. So yeah, I think that's a good point, but I don't think the movie follows through on that.
I think they miss an opportunity with the narrator too, because like you said, like the narrator we don't think is like an older Tom.
Right.
It's just God. And so like God had an opportunity to be like, she's a woman, but also here are the following things that Tom's missing the point on, like, or not even like noticing, and like no one.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's our show for the day, but we have an amazing editor named Kevin Williamson, and he went above and beyond before we'd even finished the script of putting together a little montage of some of Tom's best moments. I suppose I should give a clue for next week, because we're going to go out on this. Next week, you are not going to believe it, what we do for next week's Honest Trailer. It is going to be crazy. So just, that's your clue.
What are we doing?
And you'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
And then, so we're gonna leave you with a little montage of Tom being an insane person, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.
I'm going to the supply room. Do you guys need anything?
I think you know what I need.
I love you, and we're going to be friends. I want us to shake hands. I love you, and we're gonna go the way I want us to be today.
Your best friend who tolerated you whining about this girl for weeks on end. You were essentially stalking her.
I just don't want to release.
Well, you're not the only one that gets a say in this. I do too. And I say we're a couple. God damn it.